No, we're good. We're on
I was
time.
born ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello, my name is Justin Lehmann from PSGX World, Prairie State Genetics. This is our third year out here. We came from Lake Tahoe. I'm just going to kind of tie in a little bit. Guru Sue was doing some energy work over there. She was doing some yoga and everything. I kind of want to catch everybody up with where I was at last year, with where I left in my story from the hitchhiking in the industry. I met Guru Sue in 2019. I was in rehab in Carson City. I was a heroin addict, living in a fucking stolen truck, shooting dope down in Reno. I bottomed out. I went to rehab. I was in there for a couple weeks, and Guru Sue was one of the nurses in there. She actually taught a yoga class at nighttime. So I took one of her yoga nidra classes at 1 o'clock in the morning in November of 2019. It was me and like 3 other guys in there. They all nodded out and fucking fell asleep. And I did her yoga nidra, and it did something to me. I got this ringing in my ear, and it never really stopped. I made it through the rehabilitation program. I went back out to my life. I was still in a stolen truck. I was still trying to take my daughter to school. I was clean. I wasn't doing dope anymore. I've been clean now over 5 years since then. But my daughter asked me to go in and get some ice cream from the grocery store. I went in Carson City, and I met Guru Sue. She was in there, the nurse from rehab. And she invited me to come over to her yoga nidra studio. And I worked with her for like 6, 7, 8 months. Put in a lot of work with her. She's probably the single most person that's had a huge impact on my life up to this point. But I kept going to her classes, changing my life. I went back to Illinois. I grinded it out in 2021. At the end of 2022, I came back and Guru Sue took me in. She kind of seen that I had the formulation of a business, you know, with the seeds and the breeding and the traveling and everything like that. And she was able to put everything together. So Guru Sue, she's out here because we're celebrating her at booth 115 today. We're not out here because Justin Lehmann. We're not out here because any of my buddies or nothing else. We've done this event 3 years in a row now. If you look around the room, there's hardly nobody fucking in here right now. There's 1, 2, 3, you're walking in, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 people in here right now. Now, humbly, let me say this. Right now in the cannabis industry in the United States, worldwide, I'm probably one of the highest selling underground seed salesmen right now. From all these booths out here, we come out here and travel. I go to the professional operations, South Dakota, Kansas City. I've stayed out here for a month and fucking grew at Kairwailua. Shout out Kairwailua Jason as well. I went out there for a month. But there's not many people in here if you look around. What's going on with our culture? There's all these people out there selling seeds and food and but nobody's listening to the fucking speakers in here. That's where the culture starts at, is with the speakers in here. The people that are trying to set some trend-setting ways and change some things along the way. So I want to tie in with this as well. Swerve's not here this year from the Cali Connection. I'm not sure if anybody knows who Swerve is, but he's been here just about every single year, and he's a staple in our business. And he's not doing very well right now. Swerve didn't make it this year. He's got MS, multiple sclerosis. He's a breeder in our industry from the Cali Connection. Pretty much most of the breeders you see nowadays that are using strains, these guys out here, I can name all these guys if I wanted to. They won't do shit. Swerve is the base stock and the root stock for a lot of these people. He's been around that long. He's not here this year. He's dying. He's got young. He's got children. As a father myself, as a 43-year-old man, he's my mentor. I'll tie into the story from last year, hitchhiking. 2012, me and my ex-wife and my daughter took off 2 pounds of bubblegum kush to California. I went to go meet Swerve, truthfully. It was back in 2012, and I went to go meet him. I got out to California, San Fernando Valley. He took me in. He had like a man cave, you know, growing at the same time by the Van Nuys Airport. He took me in, and he's not out here this year. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Swerve and let him know that I love him, and a lot of people here miss him as well. And that if next year, man, whatever it takes, we'll wheel you out here to make it happen. And I promise that on my word. But that just kind of ties into where we're really at in the culture. Look around in here. Where are our legends at? What are we doing? The Captain Kirks and the guys over here selling edibles. That guy's a fucking legend in this industry. I wouldn't be up here speaking about my heroin addiction, fucking shitty life if it wasn't for Captain Kirk and guys that set the trends along the way. Our culture's gonna fucking die. That's what's gonna happen. There ain't going to be this 10 years from now for our kids or our children to come in and have these events. It's going to be all boofed out from the fucking corporate world.
Could you talk up a little
Yes.
louder?
Yes, ma'am.
Or use the mic?
The mic's mic'd up right here. You can scoot up if you want to. Yeah, come on up, actually. Please do.
Let me just turn this mic.
Yeah, no
This
problem.
is the house mic. I had the, that one just
No,
goes into
yeah, no
audio.
problem at all. I appreciate you taking the time to want to listen.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Right here's fine?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
Just,
Does that sound good from here?
can you hear a little bit better now?
Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So Swerve's not here this year. I want to tie back into Swerve. Cali connection, Eddie. He's not here this year. You know, he's dying from multiple sclerosis. He's got some young children as well. We need to support these people in our industry, not chase these clout booth head corporate dudes, man, that are trying to get rich off of fancy labels and packaging. Everyone's got fancy labels and packaging in this age now. We can all go get fancy stickers to put on packages, but these guys are fucking legends in our industry. Captain Kirk, Swerve, Scott from Rare Dankness. These dudes that come out here are very special, and we got to keep them alive. This is what's called now the illicit market. They call us the illicit market. Been doing this for 20 fucking years indoor in California. And we're the illicit market now because they're the corporate market? No, man. This is cannabis. It's 20 chromosomes. Hemp and cannabis both have 20 chromosomes. One seed, one plant, one origin, one son of man. All of us are from one Y haplogroup. All of us. When it boils down to the end of the day, if it's not Neanderthals smoking cannabis, who knows who it was. But I'll tell you this right now. And I'm not getting into no racist shit, but we're in Hawaii, so I'll touch that conversation, okay? Cannabis is not Hebrew, Israeli. Cannabis is not Chinese, all right? It's none of that. It's Proto-Indo-European, if anything. If we follow where the landrace maps are at right now, and if we study post-diluvial times, if we believe in Noah or Zayasudra or Utnapishtim, the Mesopotamians called him. After that flood, Armenia, Turkey area, we can follow the plant that spread out. And if we lay the haplogroup maps on top of that with R1b, we find out that the Proto-Indo-Europeans have been spreading this plant throughout the world. It wasn't the Jews, it wasn't the Zionists, it wasn't the Hebrew, it's not the Chinese. The Chinese, their character letter for MA is two plants hanging upside down. A lot of people can't beat that. But you know what? If you go look at their first dynasty, it's 3300 from the Yellow Emperor in China. Before then, we have Tokcharian shaman that are in the ground in the Tarim Basin from 2,000 years before that. They're shamans. They're Proto-Indo-European. Look them up. Tokcharian, they're 75% European in DNA. That's who the cannabis is found on. It's not found on Chinese, it's not found on the fucking Hebrews, it's found on Proto-Indo-Europeans from 5500 BC before the Chinese dynasty. If we go back and we look at the word Azalu, which is a Mesopotamian word from Sumeria, it means hand of ghost. That's where cannabis comes from. The Sumerians, the Mesopotamians that were before the Jews by 2,000 years. The Jews come from when? The Babylonian, Assyrian. If you look at Mesopotamia, you got Sumer, you got Akkad, Babylonia, Assyria. It goes all the way into the Persians. There's thousands of years in there. If we look at 1745 BC, Hammurabi, you've heard of the Hammurabi Code, maybe? That's the time Abraham took off from Ur, where Abraham was from. If cannabis is anything, it's fucking Proto-Indo-European. We need to get rid of this agenda, these fucking narratives within cannabis. If you go look at the stock market right now, go look at the stock market in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, Yassafo, or all. That's why we can't legalize this plant. We can't legalize this plant right now because of the U.S. stock market. But you know what's crazy? The plant's already basically fucking legal. Agriculture Improvement Act of 2018, Donald Trump signed it. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Biden. I don't care about none of them. I care about this plant. All right? Donald Trump signed it in 2018. It's called the Agricultural Improvement Act. You can look it up. It's the Farm Bill. It says that anything under 0.3% is THC is deemed hemp. Well, hold on. We got hemp and cannabis, and they're both 20 chromosomes, and they come from the same fucking plant. They're from the same seed. So when I get on that airplane to fly out here from Lake Tahoe and I got pounds of weed in my bag, which I fly with every fucking time, we label Agricultural Improvement Act 2018. How many times have you seen them rip open your bag for your checked luggage and want to check it if it's under 0.3 or not for THC? The plant's already fucking legal. People need to wake up. The only reason it's not super legal is because corporate and the money lobbying the money for corporate. What do you think about all these spray packs? And you hear all these spray packs on Instagram and people smoking chemicals and weed. Who needs that? We just had one of the biggest outdoor seasons ever in the United States. Why do we need spray packs? It's propaganda. It's corporate cookies propaganda is what it is. And it's been going on. And shout out to Hawaii for shooting down the wreck out here and keeping things medical. Shout out to guys like Jason at Karawaialua and many others that I could mention. They've been battling this for a long time. Shout out to Drew at the same time right there, who's someone that has put this event together over. I wouldn't be up here speaking on this panel if it wasn't for guys like Drew and Captain Kirk who set these images along the way that I could step into. Are people supporting me? Are they putting me on cannabis podcasts? Are they putting me in publications all over? Are you writing emails to get me in there? No, we're not doing it. We need to support our culture and our legends. If not, they die out. They're dying in wheelchairs like Ken Estes and fucking Swerve is from MS right now. These are people, they call us the illicit market, right? We're not the legal market now. We're the illicit market. Well, here's what we do. Okay, check this out. We've been going to hydroponic shops throughout the United States since 2020 as Prairie State Genetics, PSGX World. We just got done rocking Kansas City. Now hundreds of people came through here. We are blending and merging the cultures together. We're trying to take the fucking corporate people. We're trying to take the illicit people that got us here and bring them together so we can get behind this plant. Because why? It's fucking worldwide now. It's not just Hawaii and the West Coast and a few different states. I'm from the biggest market in the country. I sell more seeds than anybody. And I'm humbly saying that as an underground seed breeder. You see anybody at my booth today? Hardly ever. How many people's in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. We picked up 14 at this point. But where's everybody else at? Walking around out there, loving on each other, hating on each other, supporting each other. Fuck that. This is a plant. The Sumerians had a word. It's called Du Ranki. It's the bond between the heavens and the earth. And it's the connection, the tether that keeps us together. And that's what we are with this plant. We're all bonded, every single one of us, through this plant. Whether it's popping seeds or growing clones or just smoking or going and buying it from the dispensary for $60 a high on the 8th. We all love this plant. And that's what brings us together. And that's why we're here in Hawaii today. We're here to celebrate this plant. Look, I know all the racist shit that goes on over here. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm from the Midwest. I grew up with nothing but black kids in juvenile prison. I know what it's about. I know what everyone's had to experience at some level. But let's not bring that into cannabis. Cannabis isn't Israeli. Cannabis isn't Hebrew. It's not Chinese. Cannabis is all of us together. If anything, it's Proto-Indo-European. Matter of fact, if you want to do this, you can line up right now the landrace maps of the world on Google, and you can put Neanderthal, where the bloodline of the Neanderthals are at, and you can put R1b haplogroups. Line all three of those maps up and watch where they hit from Iran to fucking Afghanistan to fucking China to Siberia. Even when we start looking into autoflowers and stuff like that, and you really understand the time trigger on where they come from in Siberia. This plant's been around for a long time. The Neanderthals were smoking it. We'll find it one day in Neanderthal tombs. It's not just ours. It's not just one person's. It's not just a bunch of fucking Hebrew scientists that are raping the stock market in Yasa right now. It's not at all. If we start looking at human DNA, right? And we start looking at sequenced haplogroups and chromosomes and whatnot. The oldest we know of right now, 45,000 years, Ranis, Germany. Outside of that, Russia. Outside of that, Africa, 18,000 years. That's it. Where did man come from? Well, we got the sequenced DNA that says we're finding fucking Cro-Magnon man skulls in Europe. So do we really think that they traveled outside of Africa just to go up into Europe and fuck Neanderthals and then go back into Africa to breed Neanderthal lineage into Africa to the A and the L haplogroup and then breed it outside of there? No, that's not what happened, and that's not what happened with cannabis either. So it's been a battle that we've been going through. It's a narrative, it's an agenda. If we really want to legalize this plant, where's it going to come from? I'm not sure if we'll ever 100% legalize it because of the stock market right now. They made a business out of this. But I want to go back on something else. The corporate from the illicit market, they tell us now. Well, I'm part of what's called the illicit market. And I'll tell you this, I've been doing, this is my 20th year this year. My daughter here's last year. I brought my daughter up here as well, I spoke. This is my 20th year indoor in California. So I hitchhiked out to California in 2025 from Piggott, Arkansas. 3.5 days, 11 rides. I ended up in Truckee, California to grow bud with Soren Dar, who's one of the best right now in the world Turk distillation guys on the planet. But I came out for that. So I've seen 20 years of this. Now don't get me wrong, I was on heroin and in prison and in bad relationships, but I've seen the plant this whole time. You know, I've been growing it outdoor. Before then I grew up with my father. My dad was an outlaw. Larry Lehmann was his name. He's a Patchen outlaw, Route 66, Sharon Lowe's outlaw. I grew up with my dad growing the plant outside with him. So I wanted to touch on that for I don't got a lot of stuff to say. There's nothing I'm going to say that's going to sound super fucking special from anybody else. Or I'm just another guy, you know. A lot of people don't show up. Some people show up. But what's important is the message that's behind it to me. And we need to change this. We need to change these narratives and agendas inside cannabis. We need to support our legends that are out there right now. And I was able to spend some time out here too. I went out to Karawailua. Matter of fact, last year, after I did this speak on stage, I met with Jason. And Jason came up to me and invited me out to the farm. I was able to go out to Karawailua for 30 days and work out there. But even inside of those, man, look, that shit ain't perfect neither. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of fucking personal agendas inside of it and people that want to grow. Look, fuck all that. We need the plant brought together. We need it together. We're here, I would hate to say worship, but we're here to celebrate this plant. And my daughter's not here this year. She'll be here next year. Chanel's out here with us. Chanel Yellowhair, she came out from Arizona. My buddy Claude, he's here. He's working security for me this year. I got a few others. I talk a lot of shit online. You know, the security's mainly for the women and watching the monies, and for other people too. But I bring these guys out, man, because they feel special and they help me. And this is the culture, man. It's an old school culture that's starting to die a little bit. I'm sad to say. But Hawaii, though, and I'm going to not end it, but on this note, Hawaii has one of the best cultures in the United States still. And that's why we come out here, and that's why this event is growing. And I hate to keep shouting Drew out, man, but I mean, it really is. It's because of dudes like him that are getting it done. They're fearless. The lady beforehand when we came out here, some politician lady, she was nice, fine-looking little mama. But she wasn't getting it done, though. This man's getting it done. And that's what we need. Watch next year. Mark my word. There'll be people over here from Thailand, from Germany. They're watching this right now. And they'll be here next year. Yeah. And the events get Mendo Dope Boys are here this year. Bleezy, what's up, fool? Shout out to you guys. And I'll take a couple questions. If anyone's got any questions about cannabis whatsoever, I will right here openly answer any question in front of you. Yes, sir.
So, you said that cannabis is not Chinese, it's not Jewish.
True.
But then you said, if anything, it's Indo.
Proto-Indo-European.
It doesn't strike me as a cultural point, it just strikes me as a historical point that frankly I don't really care about.
Right.
And I'm worried that if we try to go out to the public and tell them, you know, this plant it doesn't hurt anybody.
Would you do me a favor? You're pretty smart.
And then turn around and be like, by the way, it's Indo-European.
Proto-Indo, yeah.
And not Chinese. But people would be like, what?
Would you do me a favor? You're pretty. Would you sit up here so I could hear you a little bit better, kindly? I can't really hear you that well.
Did anybody else not hear me? I'm saying that it seems like you're confusing history, like where the plant may have originated, with culture. and I don't really care where the plant originated, because as you said, it's for everybody. It's not Chinese, it's not whatever,
right.
Jewish.
Yeah.
Or Indo-European.
It touched your nerve, huh? That's why I do it.
I don't know that anybody really cares except for a really small group of people.
You think so?
Well, I don't know don't the results kind of speak for themselves, right?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the loudest.
I mean, I want to help. I believe.
What do you want to help with?
What's that?
What do you want to help with?
Legalize the plant. I've always.
We're never going to legalize it completely with a stock market full of CBD and cannabis dildos and oils and shit. We're not going to.
Nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Well,
It will
of course.
never be perfect. We're just going to keep everything as it is in this state of just like whatever.
Yeah. Well, what's important is, hey, what's important is erasing the narratives and the agenda behind it that leads into fucking Kyle Cushman's and Ed Rosenthal's and Jack Herrera's and guys that fucking pump the PR up. Huh?
I'm just saying, maybe we need like more sensible sounding people.
I think so too. I think so too. Would you want to get up here and sound soundable too?
Probably
Hey, no, look, man, I appreciate you coming out for real. Like, respect to you. At the same time, I appreciate that, man. Much love. Thank you. For real deal. We need people like that out here, man. People are scared to speak up to people. We need people like that, man. That's an important. Anybody else?
I was just going to ask for a strain suggestion.
Strain suggestion?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Do you grow indoor, outdoor?
Outdoor.
Outdoor. You do. Out here in Hawaii or where at?
Here on the windward side, the wet side.
Man, dude, I'm going to be honest. I'm a great breeder, and I've been out here for months, but there's so many beautiful, amazing Hawaiian breeders. I would say deal with them because they understand the weather out here in comparison. But I got some bomb strains I can tell you about.
Well, I'm looking for strain. Most is here is sativa.
Sativa dominant?
And I can't go with
Piff. Oh, you don't like the sativa dominant. Indica dom? Pakalolo. Pakalolo's over there in the corner with Micah and Bong. They're from Molokai. Man, I went out there and stayed with Micah for some days. I strongly recommend Pakalolo seeds. Yes, sir. Anybody else? People starting to fill in a little bit. Now, how much minutes I got, Drew?
Sure, hold on.
Yeah, let me know. But the thing is, I do want to tap back in with you too real quick. They have been utilizing a lot of these icons to control that PR and that stock market.
I'm not disputing
Yeah,
that
that's
at
an
all.
issue that we
I
have.
totally agree.
Yeah, you do. So people know it, that what's going on. Dude, we got to erase that. Inside of cannabis, it's just a bond to bring us all together. We're very thankful to come out here too. At the same time, like I said, it's the third year we've been out. I plan on coming out next year and bringing my daughter too. And that was important to me to get up about Swerve as well. So unless anybody's got any more questions or anything like that. Yes, ma'am.
If you know all the vendors here.
I do.
Is there one vendor in particular or a few that you would go, that I can consult with regarding sleep?
Oh, yes,
Or
ma'am.
even animal?
Yes, ma'am. I think that girl sitting right next to you, the universe put you next to her for a reason. Anything on your heart? Yes, sir.
So I guess another point that I kind of found over time. So I lived in Seattle and Portland when they legalized in 2014.
In the hemp days, when they were doing the whole hemp boom, that's what got us to where we're at today. Let's not forget.
It was kind of wild west in Oregon, as I understand it, it's similar to Missouri, in that they don't really have any limits on who can get in it. As long as you're not a former criminal or whatever, anyone can get in. And nobody makes any money at all. So
'Cause
they're all going broke.
It's watered
And
down.
it does, I get it.
I'm glad you said that.
It hurts the old culture, I agree.
Thank
But
you.
the culture's not a static thing anyway. It's never going to stay as it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think this sort of pining for this, pre-legalization passed by people, it's romanticizing it.
It is a bit.
Maybe it is kind of sad that the community's not as strong as it used to be.
Yeah.
But in the end, this is what we wanted. This is the legalization that everybody was kind of aiming for.
Well, they were. So this is where we're at now. This is a great point. So when we look at these other countries like Germany, they're like 9 months into the recreational program. Dude, it's a fucking map that they've already had set out from, Hawaii, what they all went through out here in Hawaii with the dark ages to Oregon. So now it's spreading, right? It's spreading. It got to Illinois in 2020. It got to fucking Ohio. It's out in New York now. So, dude, this is what they set up. This is the narrative and the agenda behind it. It really is. They've set it up this way to keep following it all the way through.
But isn't it what we wanted?
No, it's not. We didn't want it only put in the fucking hands of so many people, so we go to jail for it.
You can do home grow,
go and.
No, bro. No, we all want to grow our own plants. It's free to plant. It's not free. Only so many can fucking grow it, and the rest of us can go to jail for it.
I know, but it is in Oregon. You can do that.
This is Hawaii. You know what I mean? Oregon's 1.4 million people. Bro, I'm from Chicago. It's 3 times that big of a market in Chicago alone. My market in Chicago is 3 times as big as the state of Oregon.
California has home grow.
If you look at the United States, 80% of the country lives from the corner of Texas to the edge of the East Coast. 80% of the country. That's where the money's at. That's where the cannabis market. It ain't in fucking Humboldt or Mendocino or none of that. They're good dudes, and I love them. I ain't talking shit about them. They know that. But look, there's 200,000 people in Humboldt and Mendo together. Oregon's got fucking million people. Hawaii's 1.4 million. Chicago's got 3 million. These are small fucking West Coast markets. They're dominating our industry. For what reason? Come on, man. We all know where the bud's growing up. I'm a 5th generation farmer from the Midwest. All the men before me from Germany was farmers until I fucking got here.
You don't feel like you're like the guy who's defending horses and buggy whips and stuff?
I feel like I'm the Proto-Indo-Europeans that brought the horse and chariot into India. That's what I feel like. They're the ones that brought it in. If you really look at it, if you look at all those Hindu gods, they're Proto-Indo-European gods.
If that's the case, so what?
So what? If we lived so what, nobody would care, and we just keep going to fucking where we go. Down, 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 not supporting our legends and letting people... That's where we go, and our culture would fucking die, bro. We're here to keep culture alive, the Duranky, the bond between the heavens and the earth. Much love. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Just like, I think, here's the whole conversation, but from what I can understand, we're talking about like weed and like the history and the culture of it.
Sure.
And, like, I think also, I'll imagine myself as a person, and I think part of that is connected to the natural way of things. And not like evolution or like progress or whatever, because like a lot of this technological progress is not necessarily like natural. It's just something
Forced evolution is. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I think it's very important to build a relationship with the natural elements of things.
It is.
From the government, because the government doesn't care about it.
They don't give a shit. They're using our plant as a bargaining chip right now.
Yeah.
That's what they use our plant for. It's a bargaining chip.
With this new administration, I don't really care how you feel about it.
I don't like either one. I'm an anarchist, if you want to know the truth. I really am.
Low-key. But with this new administration, I think it's very important for us to connect to ourselves, connect to our community,
Very much.
your local community, and like really get into like, how do I say this? Like what's meant for your area.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
Let's bring it back to the home base right there, where everyone can build culture together. That's what Hawaii's doing right now, too. They shot down the wreck. They've kept it med. You know, when I was up here last year talking about, you know, wreck, this and that, but they got it done out here in Hawaii. And that's a good point that you bring up as well. Thank you.
Justin, we'll take that as the last question.
That's the last one.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
wrap it
thank
up
you
then,
so
man.
much.
That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Justin. Appreciate it.
And we got a lot of people in here too. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30 people. So it's bigger than last year. Hey, thank you guys. I apologize if I seem like a dick or anything. I love everybody here. I'm passionate about this plan. So,
Can I make a quick comment?
yes, ma'am.
So if you are in favor of adult use legalization, there's a bill being heard on Tuesday. You need to get your testimony.
Oh, I seen that bill.
By Monday, 2 o'clock. And we need more people to raise their voices because we have a lot of opposition and the legislators are saying they're people.
Is she on camera right now or no?
No, but she can.
Yeah, will you come up here real quick so you can say that? Thank you. Yeah. Because we need that too. You know, thank you very much as well for stepping up. Yeah.
So if anybody is in favor of adult use legalization, please weigh in on it by Monday, 2 o'clock.
Monday too.
Our legalization bill, HB 1246, has a hearing.
Hearing.
And it might be the only hearing if we don't get enough supporters to weigh in on
We
it.
need to get it done. You know,
Yes.
like
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up, for sure. Anybody else, man? Is there one more question out there? Thank you. Much love for having me. Justin Lehmann, the infamous